Hi everyone, it's TheTidesChanging here, and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. Today I'm building a new art gallery for a sim from one of my Let's Plays. So this art gallery is for a sim named Taz, who's from my base game Let's Play, which ended a while back. It actually ended back in September, but I'm going to be bringing this series back for a season 2, and I wanted to make it as though some time had passed between like a couple years or so between when we last left off with the series and when it comes back soon. And her gallery was actually doing really well when we left off. Like, she was earning a lot of money from it, so I felt like it would make sense that during that time she had earned a lot of money from it and was able to build this really nice new gallery. Because the one she had originally really wasn't that nice. You may have seen it a little bit in the beginning of the video. I just made it basically just a rectangular shack. There wasn't a whole lot going on inside. It just had concrete walls and concrete floors. It was just very gray and dull, so I thought it'd be fun to just make a really nice new gallery for her before bringing the series back. This is the first of 2 speed builds that I'm going to be doing before bringing the series back. I also wanted to build a house for one of the households, and for those of you who watch a series, a household that I wanted to make a new house for is the one that will be containing Meredith, Olivia, Judith, and Kyle, then Judith and Kyle's children. I feel like they definitely need a new house because the one they were currently living in just won't fit them all, and I also didn't have another house already built that would really work well for them, so I just wanted to make a new one that would suit their needs. And I will also be moving some of the other households into new homes, but I'll just be using homes that I already made that will actually work for them, and then a couple of the households will just be staying in the houses that they're in because it hasn't been that long since they moved into the house. And I probably should do a little bit of explaining about this Let's Play because some of you probably haven't seen this series before or are new to my channel and have no clue what I'm talking about. A little bit about this Let's Play is that it started out with 8 Sims and they're split into 4 different households, and I would rotate through the households, spending a few parts with each of them at a time. And the thing I really liked about doing the Let's Play that way is that their stories could really intertwine, because I do like to have a storytelling element to my Let's Plays. It just makes it a lot more fun for me, because just simply playing the game gets quite boring to me after a while. But there were times in the Let's Play when something would happen with one household that would affect another. It was kind of cool to see the same event played out from different sides. That was just something that I had a lot of fun with. I did actually put together a recap video for the Let's Play recently, just going over the things I thought were most important that happened in that Let's Play, because it was pretty long. It's about 75 parts, so if any of this sounds interesting to you, I'll leave in the a link in the description in case any of you want to check that out. As you can see from the title of the video, the name of this art gallery is Doodles, and how the name came about was that back when the Let's Play was going on, I said I was going to make an art gallery for her, but I wasn't sure what to call it, and asked those who were watching the Let's Play what they thought I should name it, and someone suggested that I simply call the art gallery Doodles. And I thought that was just a perfect name for Taz's art gallery because I see her as being a very eccentric sim who just kind of does her own thing. And because of that, I felt like Doodles was just the perfect name for this art gallery, and I just really like how that sounded. I also had a lot of fun with making this build because it's been a while since I've done a modern build. I've just done more traditional ones recently. I think the last modern build I did was the Cafe Let's Build, so it's been about 4 months or so. And for those of you who like the more modern builds, I was planning on making the house I was saying I was going to make earlier in the video in a modern style. More specifically, I was thinking a mid-century modern style because I wanted to make the house in Oasis Springs, and I think that that would fit in pretty well with the other homes that are already in Oasis Springs. So yeah, there'll be another modern build for you modern build lovers out there. But what I'm doing right now is putting in a second building out behind the store, and that was because I made the art gallery and then I realized there was just all this extra space on the lot. And I didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't want to just have a sea of concrete out behind it with maybe some trees in it. Like, I feel like I had to do something else with that space. And the only thing that really came to me was making this second building that was kind of like a mini house. So, say I have Taz or her wife Amara at the art gallery for a while and they're getting kind of tired or kind of hungry or need to take a shower. I can just have them go to this house, take care of that so I don't have to send them home. Like, that just make it so much easier to run the shop. So I thought that would be something pretty useful to have, and then I didn't know what to do. I still didn't know what to do with the rest of the concrete area at first. So I just thought that I would fence it off and make kind of a mini garden area out back. It's kind of pointless, but again, that was just all that really came to mind for that space. And it ended up looking pretty nice. You know, it might be nice to have an outdoor space behind it with some trees and such in it. And I believe right now I'm putting that fencing in, just trying to figure out how big of a yard area I want to make. So yeah, I just end up getting rid of all the pavement in there. It just ends up being trees and other plants. It ends up looking pretty nice. There's not a whole lot back there, but I guess I could figure out some more useful items to put in it once I actually start the Let's Play, or if there's anything you think could go back there, then you could feel free to add that in. And I don't know if anyone else is the same way, but when I'm building community lots, one of the things I have the most trouble with is figuring out what kind of pavement to put all over the lot. Just because when you have a lot like this, that's a store, I feel like it looks best when you have a lot of pavement around it. And for whatever reason, like, one of the things that takes me the longest is just trying to figure out what kind of pavement to use. Like, I cut out a while of me just trying pavements and going, nah, I don't like that, don't like that. And then, eventually I settle on something, although I do change it because then I realized that there probably was something better that I could use. Anyway, right now I'm putting on the wallpapers. I didn't use any colors that were too exciting on the outside of the building, but I did try to use a little bit more color on the inside. So on the inside you have some accent wall colors, but I'll get to that once we're actually onto the inside. I was actually pretty surprised by how quickly I settled on the wallpaper, because usually that's another thing that takes me an eternity to figure out, because I'm pretty picky about it. But I believe that's about it for the wallpaper, so I'm just fixing up the spots where you can see the grass. And I think, oh no, I'm not almost onto the interior. I still have a lot of landscaping to do. What am I thinking? So of course right now I'm just getting the plants on the little planters I made up there beside the, entrance. I thought having the raised up garden beds like that is something that could look pretty neat to do. So I'm just trying to have a bunch of plants of different colors to make there be more color on the outside of this building, because there really wasn't a whole lot at this point with all the blues and grays and such, but yes, I really felt like I just needed to add a little bit more color. Apart from that, there really isn't too much landscaping in the front here. Right now I'm just putting in a tree planter kind of a deal. And I was trying to use this taller fence at first, but I ended up changing that because that just looked kind of weird for me. And then also that wall of paintings I had got really annoying because of course that's there because I wanted to fill this art gallery with paintings my sim made. So I just had to paint a bunch of paintings before I started building this, stuck it on a wall and stuck it off to the side. And you can actually see the sim Taz right there on the left side of the building. And all those paintings I had her make weren't nearly enough to fill the art gallery, so I think I made about the same amount more in the middle of the build. Like, I just stopped building to have her go paint a bunch more paintings. So you should be able to make a good amount of money off of this shop if you sell what's there, because there's some masterpieces mixed in. There's a lot of paintings that were worth at least 1,000 simoleons, so yeah, you could definitely make a lot of money off of this shop. And if you have a sim who's a painter, you could replace it with their paintings, or you could just keep restocking those ones and make money that way. I don't know, it's up to you, whatever you want to do with this, of course. Oh yeah, I found that awning when I was looking through the decorations. I thought it looked kind of cool to throw an awning in with the shop. For some reason, I really feel like I don't make use of awnings enough in my build, so I just want to make sure I put one in on this shop, and I'm trying to figure out what to have near the door there. Although later on I realized it's just a little bit too busy and I do end up getting rid of that stuff. And yeah, there's really not too much landscaping other than that, just as I felt like there really didn't need to be that much on this build. Or at least not in the front and around the sides. There's quite a bit of landscaping in the garden area that's around the back. And there we go, just figuring out somewhere else to stick those paintings while I make another tree area over here. I did want to stick that painting wall on the inside, but for some weird reason, whenever I moved it inside, it would delete all the paintings, which, did it delete them? No, I think it just moved them into the household inventory, but I didn't feel like pulling them out of the household inventory, so I just left the wall outside, and that's about it for the landscaping around the front. So I believe shortly here I'm going to be moving on to, oh yeah, there was when I was like, oh, can I stick it inside? No, I can't. So yeah, now is when I'm moving on to the garden area that's in the back. And then once that's done, I'm going to be finally moving on to the interior. And oddly enough, I actually spend more time on the outside of this build than the inside, which is usually the opposite of how it is. Out here in the back, there isn't a whole lot. As I mentioned earlier, I just have some areas with plants, and then there's just a path going from the back of the building to the house, the mini house area. Something I did think about after I finished the build was that I could put a woodworking station back here, because there are some pedestals inside the gallery, and then there's also a bunch of counters behind the register. So I thought it'd be kind of cool if I had Taz's wife get into woodworking, so she could make things, and then they could sell that in the shop as well, so it could kind of be both of theirs. I thought that'd be something kind of cool. There's plenty of room back here for a woodworking station, so I think once I bring the Let's Play back, that's something that I'm going to put in here. And I'm just really looking forward to playing with the shop. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to run. It's definitely going to be more fun to run than the shack that she had before. But currently I'm putting in a bunch of plants back here, and I did use some of the plants that came with Romantic Garden stuff, because I don't think I've put up a build with that stuff in it yet. Yeah, I don't think I have, because the renovated version of Oak Instead didn't. I think I did all the landscaping on that before that stuff pack came out, so that didn't have any of that in it. And the last house I put up, I finished before that stuff pack was released, so yeah, this is the first build that I've been able to use those items in. Or at least the first one that I put up, because I did start on this Victorian styled house that I wanted to have kind of a bohemian theme to it, so I just used a bunch of those plants in the yard of it. I do want to finish that build at some point. I don't know when I will though, because I did have a bunch of other Let's Play builds that I need to do, because I actually need to make builds for the 2 Let's Plays that I currently have going on. Oh, and speaking of Sims 4 packs, are any of you excited for the new game pack that's supposed to be coming out in a few weeks? I'm actually pretty excited, and it seems interesting from what I've seen. I think it'd be a lot of fun to build restaurants with the items, and I was actually thinking of doing a restaurant Let's Build once it starts. I mean, a bunch of other people are probably going to do the same thing, but either way, I think it'll be a lot of fun to just try to make my own restaurant. I'm also looking forward to seeing what kinds of themes they have. And I'm also really curious as to how the running a restaurant system is different from the retail system that came with Get to Work. I'm hoping it'll be a really fun expansion pack, really fun game pack. I mean, it seems like it'll be pretty fun to play, but we'll see once it comes out or as we learn more information about it. But I am onto the interior of the build now, so I'm just setting up the register area. And there's also so that other room that's in the back of the gallery is supposed to be kind of like an office / painting area, so I end up having a desk back there, and that's also where Chaz's art easel is, and I just turned it into this whole art area. And I thought it would look neat to have some different accent walls on the interior of this. So I have a mix of brick and white wallpaper, and there's also a few of the walls that have a different kind of, or like, they're not really super bright colors, but you know, a color that stands out a little bit more on them. And I really liked how that looked. I wanted a little more wall space for the paintings on, so I just stuck this wall in the middle of it. Also made use of the track lights and just used that to light the wall. I wanted to use that kind of light more throughout this build, but I thought it might have been too much to just see those lights all over the place, and plus they didn't really fit in as well into some of the other areas, so I don't know, I just let that as it for the track lights and used the saucer lights everywhere else, and that worked out pretty well. So now I'm just going through and adding some more paintings in there. Sorry about all the camera movement when I was going between the painting wall and then the wall the paintings went onto. I didn't crowd this place up with too much furniture just because this is an art gallery, so I felt like there really didn't need to be a ton of furniture all over the place. And also, this is for a Let's Play, so I didn't want to make it too expensive. Currently, I'm trying to figure out the decoration situation in the entrance, so there's nothing too exciting going on currently, but I just settled on that rug and that plant. And let's see, oh, I'm also getting some more paintings over here. And I felt like those nooks were the perfect spot for some pedestals, so for now I just stuck some sculptures on top of there just so there was something. But as I mentioned, I was thinking it could be kind of cool to have my Sims wife get into woodworking and then put some of the items that she made there. And you could of course use that for whatever you want, like if your Sim collects gems, they could put that there, or just, you know, just anything. And I also stuck an ottoman in front of the window because I mean, I couldn't think of anything else to go there. The interior of this place came together pretty quickly, and I'm sure that was because I already had, you know, I was just having my Sim paint paintings and then hanging that up, so that took a lot of the thought process out of it, because, you know, I wasn't figuring out what kinds of paintings from the catalog to use. I did get stuck on what color to make some of the items, so I kept revisiting the color choices, and of course I'm just sticking in more paintings off of there. And I think this was around the point when I ran out of paintings, like maybe that was it. And I just stuck another ottoman in there, which I guess is more of a thing you would do in an art museum, so you can just sit down and look at the paintings. So it may not work quite as well for an art store, but I don't know, I figured it'd be fine to do that. And yeah, since I kept getting stuck on the coloring of everything, I just decided to go for kind of a black and white theme with everything other than the walls and the paintings, because I feel like there's a lot of different colors going on with all of that, so I figured I didn't really need to have brightly colored furniture in addition to it. And this was after I had Taz paint a bunch more paintings. I just stuck them up on the walls and then went back in and just arranged them how I wanted to. So I'm actually almost done with this part of the build. I was just adding some curtains in. I'm not sure if it's super realistic to have curtains in a store, but I just felt like it gave the store more detail. I just felt like it needed something to give it more detail, so that was something I thought of to do that. But once I do this, the only thing left to do in this area is to finish up the whole register, because I just want to do a little bit more with that. So at first I just stuck a plant behind it, but then I thought that it could work to just also have some counters behind there. So I do take out this plant that I put in and then just add in some counters that match the register instead. And these are the counters I was talking about when I was saying something about, putting woodworking items on top of a counter. And I'm pretty sure that's about it for this whole area out here. So next I moved on to, or no, actually I switched out the gnome for a lion. No, not a lion, that was a dog. I remember like in Let's Builds, I kept calling that statue a lion. I have no idea why I kept thinking it was a lion, but then someone pointed out to me that it was a dog, and then I actually looked at it really closely, and it's really obviously a dog. So I have no idea why I just called it a lion. I think I might have mistook its ears for a mane or something like that just because I didn't really pay close attention to it. But yeah, that is a dog, not a lion. Anyway, I finished the bathroom during that rambling about the lion dog statue, so now I'm on to the art/office area, and you can see Taz there because I just left her there after I had her do the painting. I didn't really feel like having her go out to the street. So for this, I just used a bunch of the items that are unlocked from the painter career. Because she's in that career, but she's not at the top of it, so I did use the unlocking cheats to be able to use everything just because I wanted to put the canvas that's stacked up together in here as well. Right now I'm just picking out the paint color, and it took me a little bit to figure out what I want to do for this, so I was just having red at first, and I think I tried orange, and then I tried yellow. And here I was just getting all those painting type items in, and originally the layout I was going for was the easel facing the still life display just because that makes sense. But then I guess because of how the room is shaped when I had it like that, I felt like it just looked like I pulled the items out, stuck them on the floor, and then I forgot to actually properly arrange them. So I do switch it up and just move the easel facing the wall like I had it before. It probably would have been fine to leave it how it was, but I just thought that that looked a little bit better. Although I guess a messier arrangement would have worked perfectly for the sim because she does have the slob trait, so she's not really going to be the neatest when arranging things. That's it for the art part of this room, so now I'm moving over to the desk area. So I thought it'd be good to have a computer in there, kind of like it's a computer you would do business type things on, and since the sim does have the slob trait, I thought it would suit her to just stick a bunch of clutter on the desk, so I tried to fill it up with as many things as I could. There wasn't a ton of room on there, but I still think it does look decently cluttered. I also added a stack of books on the floor, and then also a backpack, just because I imagined her using that to carry documents or whatever between home and the store. And I see the Sims also being like a child at heart, so I figured an owl backpack was appropriate for her. And yeah, this room's almost done. I'm just getting a painting up in here last minute. Although I did feel like there was too much yellow in the room. Like I just feel like something looked off with the wall colors. So what I did to fix that was I just made the two walls that had the windows on them white, and then that seemed to do the trick. So I was pretty happy with how that looked afterwards. So we're done with the shop building of this build. So now we're on to the mini house area. It was pretty fun to furnish this little area. This is the closest thing that I made to a mini house, although it's not really a full house. Like I don't think it really, I don't know, maybe it does have everything you need in a house. But yeah, for the bathroom, I just did pretty much the same kind of color scheme and everything that I used over in the shop's bathroom. I really liked how that looked, so I decided to just carry it on over here. And yeah, we're already pretty much done with this bathroom. I just furnished that really quickly. And then I thought this area right in here would be perfect for the bed, and I actually, as I'm doing this commentary, I haven't checked to see if that works, but I think it will. If it doesn't work when I go to test this build before uploading it, then I'll figure out something else. But yeah, that's it for the bed area. There's also a TV over there, which I think they should be able to watch. And yeah, so in the kitchen, there's no stove. I didn't think a stove was really necessary. I figured since this wasn't a full-on house, that just having a refrigerator and a microwave would be enough. Apart from that, there's just a couch and a table and some chairs, and we are almost at the end of the building part, so I just wanted to mention as usual that if you want to download this build, there's a link to do so in the description. There's also some information on how to find it in-game on the gallery. That's all I wanted to say, so I hope you enjoyed the rest of this video.